Formula One is finally back. The 2026 season begins this weekend with the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park in Melbourne. This is the start of a completely new era. We have new chassis regulations, we have new power unit rules, we have two new teams on the grid, and we still do not know the true pecking order. In this video, you will get a clear guide to the weekend. You will hear the complete schedule of sessions, the weather forecast for every day, and how you can watch the race in the main markets. Let us start with the new look grid, then move into times, weather, and television coverage. The 2026 grid looks very different. We have two new teams, Audi taking over the old Sauber entry, and Cadillac coming in as a full works team. The driver lineup is McLaren, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, Mercedes, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, Red Bull, Max Verstappen and Isaac Hadjar, Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, Williams, Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz, Racing Bulls, Liam Lawson and Arvid Lindblad, Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, Haas, Oliver Bearman and Esteban Ocon, Audi, Nico Hülkenberg and Gabriel Bortoleto, Alpine, Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto, Cadillac, Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez. Based on 9 days of pre-season testing in Barcelona and in Bahrain, the early favourites for pole position in Melbourne are McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. But with a regulation reset this big, there is always room for a surprise, just like Brawn in 2009. The Australian Grand Prix runs from Friday the 6th of March to Sunday the 8th of March. All official times are in local Melbourne time. Melbourne uses Australian Eastern Daylight Time, which is 11 hours ahead of Greenwich Mean Time. I will give you each session time in Melbourne and then read out the main conversions. Friday, Free Practice 1 and Free Practice 2. Free Practice 1 starts at 12:30 in the afternoon in Melbourne on Friday. That is 1:30 in the morning in the United Kingdom, 2:30 in the morning in Central Europe, 10:30 in the evening on Thursday in Brazil, 8:30 in the evening on the east coast of the United States, and 5:30 in the evening on the west coast of the United States. Free Practice 2 starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Melbourne on Friday. That is 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday in the United Kingdom, 5 o'clock in the morning in Central Europe, 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday in Brazil, 11 o'clock in the evening on Thursday on the east coast of the United States, and 8 o'clock in the evening on the west coast of the United States. So for fans in Europe and in the United Kingdom, Friday is a true night shift. For fans in Brazil and in the United States, the sessions are late at night or in the evening, but still quite watchable. Saturday, Free Practice 3 and Qualifying. Free Practice 3 starts at 12:30 in the afternoon in Melbourne on Saturday. That is 1:30 in the morning in the United Kingdom, 2:30 in the morning in Central Europe, 10:30 in the evening on Friday in Brazil, 8:30 in the evening on the east coast of the United States, and 5:30 in the evening on the west coast of the United States. Qualifying is an early morning wake-up for the United Kingdom and Europe, a very late night for Brazil and for the east coast, and a comfortable evening start for the west coast of the United States. Sunday, Race. The race starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Melbourne on Sunday. That is 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday in the United Kingdom, 5 o'clock in the morning in Central Europe, 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday in Brazil, 11 o'clock in the evening on Saturday on the east coast of the United States, and 8 o'clock in the evening on the west coast of the United States. So United Kingdom and Europe get an early morning Grand Prix. Brazil and the East Coast get a very late night race, and the West Coast gets perfect Saturday evening prime time. If you are watching in the United Kingdom, things are familiar. Sky Sports Formula One will show every session live. You can also stream every session with Sky Go application or through Now Television. Channel 4 will show extended highlights of qualifying and of the race on free-to-air television. If you are watching in the United States, 2026 brings a big change. Apple Television is now the exclusive broadcast partner for Formula One in the United States, replacing ESPN. Apple has a 5-year deal worth around $140 million per year. Every practice session, every qualifying session, and every race is available to Apple Television subscribers. Some selected races are also available for free on the Apple Television application. The races in Miami, Monaco, Britain, Italy, and Austin will also be shown live in IMAX cinemas across the United States. This means Formula One television is no longer a standalone streaming service for American fans. Apple has also made a separate agreement with Netflix. Netflix will show Season 8 of Drive to Survive, and it will also broadcast the Canadian Grand Prix. If you are outside the United Kingdom and the United States, the details depend on your local rights holder. But you can always follow the sessions through official live timing and through motorsport news websites.
Now let us talk about the weather. Overall, Melbourne is expected to be warm, dry, and very stable throughout the weekend. Friday, for the first day of the season. Conditions should be hot and dry. At the start of Free Practice 1, the air temperature should be around 20 degrees Celsius. There will be some cloud, but the chance of rain is below 5%. Winds will be very light, around 3 miles per hour. It will be fairly humid at first, with humidity close to 65%, but that should fall to about 46% by the time Free Practice 2 begins. By then, the clouds should have mostly cleared. Free Practice 2 should run under clear skies at around 23 degrees Celsius, with calm winds again. So Friday looks ideal for long runs, setup work, and race simulations. Saturday, Free Practice 3 and qualifying. Saturday should be a little more overcast, but still dry. At the start of Free Practice 3, the temperature should be about 19 degrees Celsius. Skies will be cloudy, but again there is less than a 5% chance of rain. The wind should rise slightly to around 7 miles per hour. Humidity will be around 65%, dropping to roughly 52% by the time we reach qualifying. Qualifying itself should be cloudy, warm and dry, at around 21 degrees Celsius. So do not expect a wet, chaotic Saturday. This looks like a straightforward, dry qualifying day. On Sunday, race day. Melbourne should return to full sunshine. The forecast is for clear blue skies and another less than 5% chance of rain. At the start of the race, the temperature should be around 20 degrees Celsius. By the end of the Grand Prix, it should climb to around 23 degrees. Humidity should start close to 58% and fall to around 48% by the checkered flag. This means tyre warm-up should be relatively easy, there is no obvious threat of rain, and the race should be decided more by pace and tyre management than by weather chaos.
So, to sum up the Australian Grand Prix weekend, we have a completely new rule set, a very strong 2026 driver lineup, a warm and dry forecast, and a schedule that sends European fans to bed very late or gets them up very early. Now it is your turn. Who do you think will take pole position in Melbourne? And who do you think will win the first race of this new era? Tell me your predictions in the comments, and also let me know which country and which time zone you will be watching from.